Well, here we are with December the 4th, 2010. We're here in Chris Mendes' house in San Francisco, and this is the tail end of my show, the closing night here. Paper, pixels, and LEDs in homage to Ruth Bernhard. So I've been blessed to have known Ruth Bernhard from an early period. I think I was December of 1975. Pardon me, it wasn't December. It was Ansel Adams' birthday, and I was invited to his house. So I promptly had put together a present, and I was really delightfully surprised to find out that truly it was Ansel Adams' birthday. And I was overwhelmed with meeting Mr. Adams that day, and the house was full of photographers. And that's where I first met Ruth Bernhard. One of the things that Ruth is well known for was that she made the ordinary extraordinary. And that was because of the use of light. That she could take a lollipop that someone had discarded and to find that a discarded image or a rag that might be hanging on a line could become absolutely beautiful. Some people might pass it on by, but to her and looking with what light can do, it was marvelous.
My brother Sean and his wife Joyce lived in an apartment below Ruth. And Ruth actually asked Joyce to be a model. And this is Joyce. And Joyce had a friend, or maybe it was Ruth's friend, Alberta, is the African-American woman. And so this picture involves a little member of our family in a sense. And we remember it with great pleasure. And the story that I was telling Chris was that Ruth and my brother and Joyce went to hear Eleanor Roosevelt speak at the Masonic Auditorium. That must have been about 1965. And Sean said, "Dave, I know that you're interested in photography. Why don't you take a lesson from Ruth?" And so that's how I met her, on the steps of the Masonic Auditorium after hearing Eleanor Roosevelt. It was a wonderful memory.
This is Obscure Back, 1979, and one of the models at Loney College, first in the series. And then we moved on to another location, and you can see with the window light. I remember Cookie was very comfortable with being photographed, and this was an admiration with the shadow. And then up above, illuminations, a backlit image done with I call it Aurora. And, these are pigmented prints, digitally scanned, both negative and the print at a high end of technology, and allows you to compete with the silver gelatin print. It's amazing to see what the technology makes available today. It's profound. No more darkroom. So we've got paper, pixels, and light emitting diodes, and an amazing tradition of photography which is infinite. And where it's going, it's an adventure to be part of. And I can say I've been blessed to have met photographers along the way and do films on them. And of course, if you do a film on a photographer, you become a serious student of that photographer. I went on to teach at Loney College in 1978, started teaching the studio life class. And I guess they probably knew that I was working with Ruth Bernhard. That's probably one way to get a job teaching studio life. And I remember putting out the old Rolleiflex right in the middle of the classroom and saying, okay, we're going to build this photograph. We've got a model over here. We've got the lighting. And pretty easy parody to follow behind Ruth Bernhard's lighting, and lighting on the left and to the right, and usually behind the subject. And so I would do a demonstration shot and bring the people, the rest of my students in to photograph the nude. And that was an ongoing portfolio that grew for 15 years. And got to the other end of the passing of Ruth Bernhard in December 18th of 2006. And it's just amazing to find that she passed on my birthday. And I just didn't know what to think about it, except I knew it happened for a reason. So that was profound, and I spent quite a bit of time thinking about it and dwelling on it, and I thought, wow, what am I going to do with these photographs that I've collected? So going through the portfolio, I've been blessed to have found maybe as many as 40 images. So this is 10 of 40 right now. Next year we'll go for another 10. But it's been an amazing experience to how these photographs reveal themselves as I take them to the digital end.